Okay, so we have the chef's hat, and really the majority of your value is going to be this light gray. You're going to have a little bit of this dark gray. You will see just a little bit of yellow in with this. I did put a little bit of blue in this thing. It's kind of on the edge right there. I did go a little bit crazy, and one of the things that I ended up doing, I have this jelly roll pen. I do have some extras if for some reason you guys go a little bit crazy with this thing. I can get those for you whenever I come back. So anyway, okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before. So if you have an area where it's already shaded in right here, of course you're gonna take this, it's gonna go in that direction. You're gonna try to, in a way, fill this in just a little bit more. I'm just kind of curving it with the little sections right there. You could bring it out a little bit further that way, or you could go take it out this way. I'm just taking it out a little bit that way. So I'm like curving it. This whole section, like if you were to do cross contour lines, it's gonna curve like that. So I'm not gonna do just a lot of lines. I am gonna emphasize a little bit of that curve down here. So I'm just taking it and kind of going in that way right here, and I can go the opposite that way. So I'm just kind of cross hatching my lines real lightly there. The thing about this chef's hat is it's white. I'm fully aware of that, and it's very hard. It's a hard line that you cross of overworking things or underworking things with this hat. You know, traditionally, chef's hats are this color, I would assume. So I'm trying not to add too much in the middle. I can add more on the edge right here than the middle. I'm trying to keep this little middle section underworked and white still. So anyway, so I'm giving the idea that this is rounded there and there is a shadow right there. And then right here, I can do the same thing. I'm just sort of filling in some areas. I'm not filling it in completely, but I am going a little bit heavier where you have that heavier little line space right there. This is a rather dark area. I'm just going to come out of that dark area and kind of curve some things. I'm going to work on filling in some of this stuff. I can leave some of this light, but you know, keep in mind this is a very, very dark line right here. I've got a little spot coming out of that. I'll do a little bit out here just because I really made this line dark. So I'll give it a little information on the outside edge. You have this area where this area and this area separate, so I'm sort of doing that. It reminds me of clouds, I guess. Give it a little information at first, and then you can always go back and fill it in with more. I think that is okay for the light gray. At this point, we're going to do the darker, and we're not going to do this everywhere. We're going to add this in the dark areas. You will see there is some very, very dark lines right there. So you will have to do a little bit there. There's a little bit of dark lines where this transitions here. So you could do a little bit right there. There's a little bit here. But, you know, every time I'm working with this dark gray and I have something that, like, this is white, I don't want to do too much. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I am going to make this hat look a little bit more like a cream color, like a warmer color in some of the spots where you have some of the shadows. So if you imagine maybe an overhead light shining on his head right there, and maybe some of the reflections of the yellow that's in his fur, as well as we've got a lot of yellow that's down there as well. So I'm sort of touching in some areas. I'm kind of jumping around, kind of like what I did on the fur right there. And I'm like kind of coming out of and in, I guess, of the darker values. I'm making like little bitty broken lines, by the way. It's like sunshine through the clouds. This blue is stronger than you would assume. I may just add this blue just a little in those dark areas where you would perceive it to be cooler. So it might be a cooler gray right there. Gosh, but I would say this blue should compose of less than 5% of the value. I really wouldn't do too much. You're welcome to bump it up a little bit. I could see possibly some oranges or something in there, but not much of anything. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this at that. This should give y'all a little bit of a start. So I definitely work a little bit on the face. I definitely do this little bib thing, and then I would work on the hat. I'm finishing for now because I really don't feel like you guys would have time at this point to work on this part during class. You're welcome to make an attempt if you finish with other things, and yeah, I hope that was helpful to you guys.